Hey everybody, it's Aldo Gandhi, and I just want to let you know really quickly that our swag shop is reopened. DeepDishTees.com is where you go, and that's tees with T-E-E-S. Clever name, guys. They're the new home of our merchandise. You can get t-shirts, you can get caps, you can get coffee mugs, you can get hoodies, you can get all sorts of good stuff, and you'll help out the bar room with the purchase. So head over to DeepDishTees.com. Hello, everyone. My name is Aldo Gandia. Danny Shimon and Tyler Ellis will join me in a moment. The name of this show is Bear Football, but when I describe Bear Football, I'm talking about the Bears team. And right now, it appears that Bear Football is all about a defense that has a phenomenal pass rush, but a terrible secondary. They can't tackle. An offense that cannot sync up with their young quarterback, a young quarterback who is making plenty of mistakes, and a coaching staff that looks like they are in disarray and can't put together a competent game plan to beat the rival Green Bay Packers, who are the team that you have to measure yourself up against every season, at least as long as Aaron Rodgers is there. Let me bring in Danny Shimon and my man, Tyler Ellis. How are you guys?
I'm amazing, brother. I mean, I was really great after the first quarter. The first quarter, I was getting my Super Bowl shuffle going, and then it all changed. Definitely want to welcome in my brother Danny Shimon. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on today. Obviously, big shoes to fill with John before not being here today. But I'm trying to do my best here to try and fill it in. But I'm telling you, Tyler, I feel you, man. After that first quarter, I'm thinking, right, great game plan. Come out, they score quickly. The balance of run and pass, and on Bare Truth, I said, I wanted them to go ahead and now kind of build on what they're doing with Justin Fields here and just kind of let him throw the ball down the field, kind of stretch that defense, and they did that in that first drive, and then. After that, it just seemed like to me, guys, I know it didn't look like it on the sidelines. It didn't appear like he was calling the plays, but this game plan had a lot of Matt Nagy in it. And it started with that first quarter play where they had those 4 diamond set up at the goal line, and they shuffled it off to I believe it was to Cole Kmet. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? Just get in the I formation, hand the ball off to Khalil Herbert, who's been running the ball great, and let's just score here. And it just felt, the offense felt discombobulated throughout the game. The nice drive in that beginning of that fourth quarter, you think, all right, we're back in it again. But then, like Aldo hit on it, defensive breakdown. And Aldo, what did I tell you in the on Bare Truth? I said that the corners don't scare me. It's the safeties that scare me. And they're them not getting in position to make the plays, them missing tackles. Eddie Jackson again with the shoulder attempted tackle. Tashawn Gibson missed a tackle on the Aaron Jones touchdown as well. It's like if we just had safeties that could tackle, I think this defense has a chance to be very, very good, possibly even great. But unfortunately, we just have these safeties that do not, are actually just refusing to tackle for some reason.
Let's dive into this, Aldo. Let's dive into this real quick because this is big. This hurts times 2. It's not just a loss. It hurts times 3. It's a loss. Then we got a division loss. Then it's the damn. I'm going to say damn today. Sorry, guys. Sorry. It's the damn Packers. Mm-hmm. And thank you all for joining us in the chat. We definitely appreciate you all spending your Sunday with us for sure. And we're going to get through this together. But let's just address this real quick. I've already seen some silly stuff in Twitter. Justin Fields is not the guy. Relax.
Gosh.
Relax. Okay.
That's silly. That's really silly.
That's very silly. Okay, so real quick, first, Aldo, Aldo, go ahead and quarterback this for us because I got a ton of emotions and I want to get it out in the right order. So, Aldo, please go ahead and quarterback this for us.
Well, I hate to do this to you and Danny and everyone in the chat room that's watching live and those who will be watching on demand later, but one of the headlines of this team is the NFL officiating. This, in my 5 decades, 6 decades of watching pro football, this was absolutely one of the worst officiated games in the history of pro football. This was just absolutely awful. The calls, it almost seemed like, and I don't believe this, but it almost seemed like the officials were trying to do everything they could possibly do to help the Packers win. The holding call on Sam Mustipher was absolutely ridiculous. The play where Justin Fields called timeout and it wasn't called and ends up in a penalty. The play, I mean, I can list
the interception. The interception that was offside. The defender got into the neutral zone, and that's why Justin Fields thought it was a free play, and he threw the ball up, and it was intercepted. That was a potential points taken away off from the Bears there in terms of because Fields thought it was. I thought it was offside. At the very least, I thought someone was false start, and it was it was a free play or whatnot. But no penalty on that one at all. A number of times they were holding. I mean, there was one play on Travis Gibson where it was an end around and he was held. He literally his arm was held. They didn't call a play. They were holding on that either. So these officials were horrible today. I agree with you 100%, Aldo.
But you know what, man? But you know what? They've always done this against the Packers. They've always done this. We gotta play better than the bad officiating. I don't care. I expect them to do that. They did it with Herbert, but we have to overcome that. And that's why at the end of this show, I do feel positive because Bears showed me something. They did show me something on that holding. They showed me something in that last drive, that last touchdown pass. But I don't care about the officials. It was bad. It was. We got to play better. We got to man up. That's what we have to do. That's what it's going to take to beat Aaron Rodgers. Discount and double check. He has all the endorsements. They're on his side. We have to play better than we have to run better, pass better, block better, tackle better. Danny, you just said it. Shoulder tackling. It's not going to get by in this league. It's not going to get by with the Packers with an offense that's used to scoring. The Packers are used to scoring every single quarter. The Bears take quarters or halves off. You can't play incomplete football and expect to beat a Super Bowl caliber team.
Yep. I agree with 4,000 Clovers. The officiating was bad, but we had such a great opportunity to beat a Packers team that really was one of the weakest teams I've seen in recent memory. This Packers team was ripe for the pickings. They had so many deficiencies going on and their offensive line, in their defensive backfield, mainly the two cornerbacks. And on. There were so many things to pick on, and it looked like the Bears were on their way in that first quarter with a great defensive scheme, the 4-man rush beating the offensive line for the Packers, just 4 guys getting to Aaron Rodgers with some of the play calling in the first half, the heavy reliance on Khalil Herbert. I mean, those were all good things, but then all of a sudden, the mojo got going wrong and things just started to fall apart like one of those, big tall buildings you see that just implodes. That's what happened to the Chicago Bears. And there was a lot of issues. So forget about the officiating. Danny, what do you think also led to the Bears breakdown?
Well, obviously the offense, for me, the offense in that first half, especially, and then that last sequence right before halftime, that was just, it was horrendous. I mean, in terms of trying to get points on the board there, and then all of a sudden you're trying to call timeout, and you're not getting timeout, and it was just the offense looked out of sequence, out of sort, out of orders. I mean, that was a big sequence there for me, because if you put points on the board, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, and you get the second half opening kickoff, you have a chance there to double dip, and that for me was a squandered opportunity there. That ended the first half that really was but a bad taste in my mouth. Even though the Bears were in the game, the Bears have played to that point a solid first half, and they were hanging in with the Packers. And Aldo, you touched on a great point. We mentioned that the Packers coming into the game were down 3 starters, 2 of the Bear defenders, and Nadir Smith and Jair Alexander. Their starting left tackle, David Bakhtiari. They lost their starting safety, Darnell Savage, in the game as well. Okay, and then Kenny Clark got hurt, one of the better defensive linemen, but he ended up coming back into the game. But so this team was there for the taking. They were ripe for the pickings, if you will. And I just feel like the Bears offensively blew their opportunity. I think defensively they were playing very well in that first half. A couple of defensive coverages blown coverages in the secondary again, which has been a problem with them. And then of course the looks like now the weekly Mario Edwards, penalty, 15-yard penalty that he gives up. It seems like he's got a streak now. Was it three games in a row now? He's giving those penalties away. So, and I understand Rodgers had his face mask, but still, you got to be smarter than that. So, it just the combination of the offense just bogging down. Not after that first drive, they just pretty much looked like they were clueless. And then after that, and the defensive blown coverages in the secondary, to me, was really just kind of let the momentum just swing totally towards the Packers.
Tyler, I got to show you this play. I hate to go back to the officiating, but the mark on this third down play, and I was just reminded of this by somebody in the chat room. This was the most egregiously poor football call, and I think in the history of football. Not only was the guy short of the first down marker, he was short of the original line of scrimmage. And when I say the guy, it's I believe this is Aaron Jones, the running back. Watch where the blue line. This is the running back. He's going to get the ball. Watch where the blue line is and watch where he is tackled. It is unbelievable that they call this a first down. Maybe he did get to the first line scrimmage, but clearly short of the yellow line. And unless the yellow line was misplaced, and I'm seeing the first down marker right at the top of the screen, there's just no way he got there. This is ridiculous. I can't believe, first of all, that the officials screwed this call up. And secondly, that Matt Nagy did not do something to challenge the mark on the play, because I know he lost a challenge earlier in the game, but that was so egregious. Anyone with eyesight could tell that play was woefully short of the first down. Tyler, your thoughts?
Absolutely right. I was so disturbed by it, I just had to let it go, or would it disturb my peace for the rest of the game? I'm like, wow, you're not going to challenge that? Like he challenged so many closer things, so many things that were like even slimmer. Like, bro, it was obvious. It was so obvious. Even the Bears fans, once they noticed it was a first down, they started like saying, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?" I was just like, wow. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that they gave it to him, one, because it was so obvious, because the Bears players celebrated the tackle. You would think why they're fit, but that lets me know there's something else going on, but I don't want to get into it because it's like it's so like obvious.
All right, well, let's move on. Go ahead, Danny. It looks like
I'm saying like he actually won that first challenge. Remember that was a spot where they called it a first down, then they reversed it to fourth down. So he could have challenged that play. And again, this is why I'm thinking, is Matt Nagy involved in the play calling? Because the offense was so discombobulated. The plays look like they're coming in late to Justin Fields. All right. And then he wasn't there to challenge his play. Like, why not? So that's the things like something was going on the sidelines there where the Bears our coaches were just thrown off, because that was a play to challenge. That to me was a play to challenge more so than the one he actually won when he challenged originally. So that's the things like, right, Aldo, when they call that a first down, I was like, wait, you got to challenge that. There's no way. Now, I know that the yellow line's not official. That's put there by the TV crew there, but still, it's pretty damn close week in, week out. And like you said, he barely makes it back to the line of scrimmage, much less to that first down marker that we see off to the sideline. So yeah, I would have challenged it. Not sure, if Matt Nagy is going to get asked about that post game, but I want to know why that wasn't challenged.
Yeah. I was just going to ask Danny if he could begin the evaluation of Justin Fields' day, because he clearly had some bad moments, especially in the second quarter. The one play, and I've got it here, the one play where he missed A-Rob wide open down the middle of the field that would have given the Bears the lead at halftime was just, it was just sick. Go ahead. Take it away,
I want to take that's a play I want to point out here, but I think I want to take a look at it on tape and see. It looks like initially he sees A-Rod because it looks like it was a second read, but then he wants to set his feet, but there was a defensive lineman there in front of him. And then he tries to recoil, pulls the ball back and try to get back up there and throw it again. But then at that point, I think he felt it was too late. So then he tucked it and ran with the football. So yeah, that definitely was a miss there as well. There were a couple of plays where it just looked like Justin Fields was, again, not pulling the trigger when he could have pulled the trigger on a couple of throws there. Something we had not seen, guys, the last couple of weeks with Bill Lazor calling the plays. So, and then a lot of times that fourth down play, or that third down play, I should say, in here towards the end of the game, where he just took a sack and really knocked them out of field goal range. That to me was a big time rookie mistake. But I think a good thing that Fox did and Greg Olson did was they came back and they broke that play down. Dude, it's like 3rd and 15. Just get enough yards, get closer to, you're already in field goal range, but just get a little bit closer in field goal range, whether run the ball or drop a play where it's a simple play. He had 5-man protection. He had guys, he had the receivers, 4 receiver sets spread off the field. And now again, you're giving Justin Fields, limited protection back there to try and make a quick read. He had no one open to throw the ball to. He tried to escape the pocket and just got tripped up and took a sack, unfortunately. Again, I'm not trying to make an excuse for him. He should have thrown the ball away, should have avoided a sack at all costs at that point. But then coaching staff, what kind of play design is that? It's 3rd and 15. Chances of you getting that first down are slim. Okay, let's get closer to field goal range, get within a one score game, and then let your defense go ahead and try and stop him, get the ball back, and now you go for a touchdown. Again, coaching failed him, I think, here. He made rookie mistakes. The combination of the two is why we saw a discombobulated in an offense that looked like it was broken up until that drive in that 4th quarter.
Tyler, we need, we got a lot of bad news to report on, but let's inject some positive stuff from time to time. So talk to me, Tyler, about the play of Khalil Herbert. All Bears fans have to be very proud of this guy's effort.
I mean, the question was, could he handle it? Could he handle the load? Could he handle the load? Because his body handled it. You don't really want to put too much on a rookie. You don't want him to get hurt and things like that. They activated Pierce from the practice squad, and I think he came out and did a phenomenal job. He was hungry. He was fierce. He was quick to the ball. There was a mishandled snap, if you will, not by Justin Fields' behalf, and Herbert jumped on it right away. And so it's some things that a coach can't teach. You usually have to know as a football player and be smart to preserve the play. For Herbert to come out there, and I was hoping that he would get to the 100. He should have had 2 touchdowns. But at the same time, I think that was kind of a silver lining in the back because we still got the TD. But for the way the Bears came out, for the way we started this game, I was very, very impressed with the start, and I was more impressed with the play action, getting Cole Kmet involved early. These are the things that we've been looking for. You got on Cole Kmet is a stack of bricks, a big stack of bricks, and he can catch the ball. That was I'm like, okay, cool. Every time he caught it. That's what's up. And so the fear of Herbert, it changed Green Bay's defense. They started to plug the middle of the A gaps even more after Herbert. And so I was really impressed with the way he handled the rock and toted the rock. And even he came in, he was clutch in the 4th quarter, Aldo. He was clutch. He came in and he flipped the field, touchdown. I was like, oh, snap. The good thing about it was if we would have got that, we would have had 5 minutes left on the clock. That was the one thing about me that I loved about a touchdown. We did have to. So the positives, now let's go back real quick. Let's go back. The positives, that touchdown was taken away. A touchdown was taken away. Fields takes a sack or third and all this other stuff, and we still get the touchdown. We see for the first time that I've ever seen back-to-back passes with Justin Fields with 10 yards or more. To see something like that, I was rather impressed because you have to go through adversity to find out who you really are. And our character was challenged. We weren't packing it in yet, oh man, the refs stole the game from us again. No, we actually methodically went down the field with 1 good run by Herbert and 3 great passes by Fields. That was very impressive to me.
Danny, talk to me about Herbert. I've got a play here that epitomizes really, I think, the strength of his running is that he sees the field so well and he cut backs. This is a play from the first.
For me, you guys all know that I'm a big Justin Herbert fan. I mean, a Khalil Herbert fan coming out of Virginia Tech. He was a guy that I talked about his compact frame, his ability his vision to see the cutback lanes develop, his patience as a runner, especially as a rookie runner, and he's got the ability to cut, plant, and burst to the line of scrimmage for that first level of defense to get into that second and third level. So for me, I was not surprised by the game that Khalil Herbert had. Like I said, I'm a huge fan, and this kid is him being a backup to actually third string behind Montgomery and Damian Williams. I love the depth of the Bears running backfield this offseason, and this is here showing you some of it over here. But yeah, I mean, Herbert for me is a steal in the 6th round. I was excited when they made the pick. And I was touting it then, and I love it even more now. So, but yeah, the vision, the patience to be able to plant and cut, and then just burst right through the line of scrimmage. He can make you miss in the hole. You see right there, the quick feet, the agility. And I love this kid. I love him come out of Virginia Tech, and I think he's just going to get better and better. So we were asking questions whether he could be a 20 plus, carry the ball kind of guy in the game. And I think he had 19 carries today, and he looked like he was still strong. He could have easily gone 25, 30 carries in this game. And you could have rode him like a workhorse tailback, but unfortunately, we didn't get to that point, today. However, though, I'm very excited about this kid's potential. And for me, in terms of positives, I think offensively, I think the tackles play well today. I know they gave up 3 sacks total, but 2 of them were, I think they were just Justin Fields was tackled behind the line of scrimmage. I think they only gave 1 real true sack. I think Elijah Wilkinson at right tackle. I mean, we didn't hear his name at all today. I think that's a positive. Jason Peters at left tackle, I think has settled in nicely. The interior, the guards, Whitehair got hurt a couple times. Daniels got a call for a couple penalties, and I think that Mustipher holding call was total BS. That was not a holding call in my opinion. But I think the tackles were positive today. We talked about Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet being a offensive weapon today was a positive. Him building that rapport with Justin Fields, I think is going to be very good down into the future in terms of looking down down the road here. So I think that's a positive. Defensively, if we're gonna go over the defensive side, again the front four making plays was fun for me to see again. Just controlling Aaron Rodgers for that. From pretty much most of the game. And then I like Xavier Crawford playing that nickel part. We didn't say Duke Shelley today on defense, and I like Xavier Crawford out there playing. So, he didn't get. There was one play where there's a talk about maybe he got burned, but it was an offensive pass interference on Equanius St. Brown of the Packers. So
I think that was a lucky break there for the Bears. I didn't see. I mean, Fox didn't have a good angle of it, but I didn't see a push off, man.
But he extended his arms. Whenever your arms are fully extended as a receiver, they typically call offensive push off on those.
Not sure I saw that one, but yeah, you're right. I mean, he did have a good game. There's no doubt about it.
Finish up with Herbert. Aldo, that play that you showed. Anybody in the chat, let me know if you play Madden. If you play Madden over the last 10 years, that was straight EA Sports. Like the fact that Herbert was able to change his velocity, that was almost that's what Devin Hester. That's what you can do with Devin Hester in Madden. You can go up one way, get everybody going, and whoop, like most human beings can't do that. Like to do that right there with that persistency, like that is awesome. That is straight Madden EA Sports right there. And so just really want to shout out Khalil, because that's a rookie. Like at the end of the day, that's a rookie, and that's what helped the whole flow of the game. First is being able to trust this guy to move the chains, and he had some nice tough yards. At first, although Danny, we were getting some nice third and shorts. We were getting all of our third downs were somewhat manageable, and that's what helped us move down the field. Then it all kind of changed, and so but that alone, the offensive line, we got to give credit to the offensive line because the rookie almost had 100 yards rushing. So yeah, the offensive line definitely needs credit, and it sadly, but the truth is, Justin Fields just has to throw the ball away. If you throw the ball away, those are some sacks that never happens. But it's more for me. I don't want anybody touching my quarterback. I don't want you to get touched. You're gonna get spinned around. It's gonna be an ankle. We got groin injuries in every phase of the game. I don't want nobody touching my quarterback. Justin, please get rid of the ball, bro. I know you're gonna be great in the long run. And so, but Aldo, I don't want to go on much on a negative, but you guys talked about it. We talk about the Nagy involved with this. My fear leading up to this game was Nagy said, "Oh, it's a big game, so let me get involved." When we were fine, and so I was just like, I don't know how much we would never know the truth because we're not in the room. It could have all been a laser, but for me, I'm like, I don't see Nagy's ego being so separated. Like, oh, let me get some in there because it looks discombobulated. We see confusion, but I saw a slight hindrance. It's like we want to go, but it's something holding us back. And it may be too many ducks in the room. It may be too many hands in a cookie jar. And I kind of wish Ryan Pace, he probably is trying to back away and give Nagy his space, but the team is going to suffer. I'm looking at Khalil Mack, just look at the screen. He's like, man, the front seven could only do so much for so long. Even still, it would be nice if our offense could consistently score. If we could consistently score, we can get the team. The Packers' run game evolves over the course of the game. We were shutting Aaron them down early on, but them guys, that guy's a brick. And so, but the fact that the game was close, the Packers know they had a chance to stay in it.
There are hints of Nagy play calling in this game plan. And when I talk about hints, and that's why I was kept tweeting, I'm like, I don't see anything evidence wise on the field or actually on my TV to tell me that Matt Nagy is calling the plays. But we talked about the discombobulation on the offense. The offense was just thrown off sorts. The plays were coming in late. How many times did Justin Fields say, call it again, call it again? We didn't see many of that when it was just strictly Bill Lazor calling the plays. That was that diamond formation at the goal line. Like Bill Lazor wasn't doing that. Bill Lazor wasn't lining up with the three tight ends, and he was just kind of running it down to people's throats. At 4th and 1, they had him in a shotgun. Why at 4th and 1? Why aren't you in the under center in the I formation with a lead blocker? Give the ball to Herbert. Let me get the first down and move on. That's what Lazor was doing the last couple of weeks. I hope Lazor is not trying to get too cute with that as well. 4th and 1, you're in shotgun. When this has been working for them, the previous first 3 games of the season and parts of last year as well. So that's why there are hints of Nagyisms, if you will, in this play calling and this offensive game plan today, and that kind of worries me. That scares me whenever he gets involved.
Addressing the guy in the chat, Robert said, "Bro, nobody's making excuses. We're not here to make excuses for anybody. We're just talking about the variables. Nagy didn't have the play sheet, but Nagy is definitely in a room. He could tell these guys, these are the plays. Pick from these plays, or I'm firing you." That's what the head coach has, that type of like tyranny, if you will. Pick from these plays. If you don't pick from these 20 plays, you're out of here. These are the 5 plays we're going to use this week. These are plays. That's how it goes. So he wasn't caught on the plays, but is Lazor on a leash? I want to hear from Bill Lazor personally. These are things that we will never know. I hope somebody asks him.
When you go back, if you're comparing
We got
to
Matt
last
Nagy
year
at the
in
podium.
Green Bay,
Stand by.
that was an ugly loss. That was a rough loss. Then you go to the one here at home. And again, we had an opportunity of 4th and 1 last year in the fourth quarter, and to be able to convert that and make it I think it was a 5-point game. This year, again, it's about finishing. It's about in those moments. And even to the very end right there with the offense getting down there, down 10, to be able to, worst case, get 3 with 3 timeouts and be able to say, okay, you got to get first downs. We're going to stop the clock, get the ball back, and go down and score a touchdown. That's where I think we just missed it, because we didn't give ourselves a chance to get the 3 points. Worst case scenario, and we had to throw a desperation Hail Mary.
There's times that Justin looks like there's a guy that's open and he sees him, but he doesn't want to pull the trigger. You see a little bit of hesitation there. I think like Drake Metcalf across the middle late in that first half. Darnell Mooney and an out route on 3rd and 7. There's it's a short amount of time, but it looks like
No, I don't think so. I think he's done a really good job with his progressions and understanding and learning what we want to do. I mean, there's so many things that go into it, and I'm really proud of where he's at. Again, every day he's going to keep growing. Every single day in practice, these games, he's going to grow. So if there is a time here or there, maybe, but that's football. Every quarterback has that happen. You know what I mean? So for him, I think he's doing a really good job of making sure that he communicates with us where he's at. And then in the game, he's going to keep getting looks. He's starting to see more and more defenses. He's starting to get more and more timing with these wide receivers and tight ends. So, the beautiful thing about Justin is he's a competitor. He stays extremely positive. He's hard on himself in a good way. And trust me, I know one thing, he'll be ready to really help his teammates get back at it.
What was your immediate after the game assessment of the defense? Obviously, you guys got to Rodgers and some key plays. Yeah. But they still, they ran the ball well, and he still made.
Yeah, they had some big runs there towards the end, and we talked about it in the huddle down there towards the end of the game. Hey, we got to, at worst case, hold them to a field goal and make it a 6-point game, and they ended up getting that touchdown on the scramble touchdown. So again, just the leaders that we have on that defense, they understand where we're at. That defense has been playing really well, and that's a good offense that we played. They're well coached. They got a great quarterback, and so that's a challenge. And so what you do is you look at where you went wrong. The effort by our guys is always there. It never changes. I thought Coach Desai and the rest of the coaches have coached them well and done a good job. So now you just, again, you figure out why. You look at each other. You say, okay, let's pick the pieces up. Let's get right back at it.
I know you said that if you're healthy enough to play in the game, you're healthy.
Yeah.
But Hicks and Mack both appeared significantly injured. Mm-hmm. What do you appreciate about them?
Yeah, I appreciate that grit and toughness. I mean, it's those positions they play at, it's physical. It's not easy. And you got to be strong. You got to be tough. You get out there. Then you got to, these guys are warriors. And as a coach, and I know the rest of our coaches, when you see that, you appreciate that and you understand it. But it's a battle down there, man, in the trenches. It's tough.
Coach, when Aaron Rodgers scrambled for the touchdown at the end of the game, he looked into the crowd and he said, "I still own you." That's something that you take exception to, or do you look over the course of his career and say, he's right?
No, I just think for us, we worry about what we do. And, I didn't see any of that or anything like that. And for me, my biggest thing right now is just making sure that whatever we can do to get better and win every game, including Green Bay, we need to do it.
Thanks, John. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
I gotta say, I'm gonna unmute everybody here. I gotta say, I'm always editing what Matt Nagy says, but that whole thing, I understand he didn't hear Aaron Rodgers say that, but I almost feel like this team needs a little Mike Ditka. He should have said, Aaron Rodgers, that, what did he say? Oh, he said that? Well, we'll see the next time we play him.
Right.
Issue that declaration that we're coming after you. That's Chicago Bear football. That's Bear football. You don't let anybody get away with that. You don't try, this isn't, they go low, we go high. No, that's not, this is football. This is Bear football. I'm sorry. That's, we go low, they go high. That's for real life stuff. In the game of football, when somebody basically questions your play and denigrates it on national TV like he did to the fans on Fox Sports, you got to reply to that in a way that lets the fans know, yeah, don't worry about it. We're going to get them next time.
You know how you reply to that, Aldo? You get that clip, and next time you play the Packers, you play on a loop for the players before every team meeting. And then you pump up these players and you go out and you beat the hell out of them next game. That's all you can do. Him sitting up there in the podium talking tough and all this stuff, all it's going to do is going to give the Packers some more, bulletin board material, if you will, the next time around. I want him to play that to the players. I want him to pump up the players the next time they play the Packers, that they go ahead and they own him at Lambeau Field.
If John, I know John punches something right now. I know for a fact. John heard that and he probably saying something. So, John, I feel you, and I can hear you yelling from wherever you at, John, and I hope you're safe, brother.
But it's the truth. I mean, if the guy's not lying.
No, of course it's the truth. That was the softest crap. That was softer than baby crap. What I just saw. That's our freaking head coach.
But Matt Nagy come up there saying that we're going to stop, we're going to talk all this crap like this guy would. Like, what's that going to do?
It's not about being dick. It's about being situational awareness.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, that pissed me off out of everything today.
Oh, it pissed me off too. I was furious when I heard him say that.
What I'm saying is our coach, who has character, has already been challenged all year long for different reasons. Okay, we talking about play calling. We talking about being a leader of men. Our damn rivalry. The one person that Virginia McCaskey said, "I'm tired of this." The declaration of our organization, the pinnacle of our existence, is to beat this team. And this dude comes into your house and says, "I own you."
Mm-hmm. Still own you. I still own you. Not just I own you, but I still own you. So basically, if Nagy goes up there right now and tells us, "Oh yeah, we're gonna beat him," blah blah blah, that ain't gonna do shit. To be honest with you, you do that next time you play him, you pump up your team. Like I said, you play that thing in a loop over and over again. But see, but Tyler, but him talking to me and you and making me and you feel better that he's all pissed off about it, it's not gonna do shit.
No. I don't care about he's being pissed off about
it. Get your players out there, and now when you go up there and you beat him up there, then you say who owns who now. That's how you do it.
But the question was, he needs to acknowledge that it happened. The reporter asked him the question. He was like, "Oh," he said, "Well, I'm not." He didn't acknowledge it. Is what I'm talking about.
We got to give him the benefit of the doubt because technically he didn't hear it. So unless he's, I'm saying
it's going to be on Bleach Report and ESPN 1000 all day.
Now tomorrow he says I didn't hear it. Now we know he's lying.
Right.
Because that's going to be all over ESPN. It's going to be all over, like you said, Bleacher Report, all over the airwaves tonight.
Mm-hmm. Aldo, it looks like we lost control of the game in the second and third quarter. The second and third quarter is where we lost control of the game. We were unable to come up with any amount of points and sustain drives. I'm seeing a lack of
being able to not pull this out and lose. That hurts.
That's my mistake. Go ahead, please.
I see us being lack of an imagination of consistently being able to scheme guys open. We got Allen Robinson. We finally got Allen Robinson involved. It's like we're fine every time we pass somebody. It's like, oh, we finally get them involved. We're not seeing the consistent, methodical precepts. This is what we're going to do. Why does it feel like they're using these games as practice rather than having a system? Matt Nagy's talking about like they went in with he act like they're immune or like they don't want in-game adjustments. I don't understand why we can't make adjustments mid-game. Halftime, save the post-game speech for halftime speech This is where this makes sense. As a Bill Belichick, make the adjustments. Like, don't be content with the loss. Try to win. Obviously, we try to do, but it's like, hey, who's not getting involved? We only have 5 guys catch the ball this game. Only 5 guys caught the ball this game, and like Cole Kmet, I mean, nobody caught over 6 balls, and so it's lack of imagination on the consistent drive, and that could be for anybody. They can all share that blame. But what's the vision? What's the focus? And this is what I'm saying. If it hopefully is just Bill Lazor calling the plays, because these players can get confused with this stuff, and that's what I'm seeing. I forgot who we play next week because I was so focused.
Buccaneers.
I was so focused on that. The Buccaneers. That's gonna be a good game. Tom Brady.
It's only Tom Brady.
Although we did beat them last year.
but Tyler, the thing is, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's little bits of Nagyism sprinkled in his game plan. Matt Nagy does not make adjustments at halftime. You know, right. Bill Lazor, we saw him make some sort of adjustments from the previous 2 games. So that's what I need to know. And I don't think anyone asked him in this press conference is like, who was calling the plays? Now we know Bill Lazor was calling the majority of the plays, but Tyler, you made a good point earlier. Maybe Nagy had these certain plays drawn and say, hey, run this play now. And he, as the head coach, can overrun what Bill Lazor calls. So that I'm telling you, there's some little bit of Nagyisms in this play calling, and the offense was totally discombobulated, out of sorts, until that drive in that fourth quarter, that touchdown drive to Mooney, where we saw like Justin Fields got into a rhythm there and just started making some plays on his own, really, breaking containment and just finding guys downfield instead of running the ball or tucking the ball and getting a first down. So that's the thing, is like, it's so confusing. If you would just strictly give Bill Lazor the play calling, if the Bears had stuck to the same game plan today that they had against the Raiders and against the Lions, which is under center, play action, run the ball, run 2 or 3 man sets, in terms of pass, run routes, have mass protection, 2 or 3 tight ends in there, have the running backs chip. I saw a lot more, just not going over the tape yet, a lot more 5-man protections like we saw versus Cleveland than I saw the last 2 weeks. Okay. And I know that the Packers were not at full strength, but still, your offensive line is not the greatest right now. You can't keep going with 5-man protection here. And I saw a lot more of those. I'm not saying every single pass play was 5-man protection, but that key point with that 4th down, again, I'm not defending Justin Fields. He should have thrown the football away. But 5-man protection, 4-man route, why? It's 3rd and 15. Get 6-7 yards. Get a minimal gain. Hell, throw a freaking screen pass. Throw a screen pass, get yourself a 4 or 5 yards, make it an easier kick, make it a 1-possession game. That, what I'm talking about there, that's Nagyism right there. That's Nagy spread into that offensive play calling there. And that worries me. Whenever he puts his fingers into this game plan, the Bears struggle. We saw it last year with Trubisky. We're seeing it this year with Fields. I'm not saying Justin Fields was mistake prone or mistake free or anything like that, and he made rookie mistakes. There are sometimes some throws that we got to go back and take a look at the tape, but some throws where he didn't get rid of the football quick enough.
Apologize for interrupting. We got the quarterback at the podium.
That's a naked play, and my eyes aren't supposed to go there. Appreciate it.
Justin, what was your impression of the rivalry, seeing it in person?
That's cool.
Justin, Coach Nagy said this one really hurts because it was such a good competitive game and it was against Green Bay. How do you kind of sum up just your feelings after the loss?
I think I should have played better. I didn't play as well as I wanted to. I think the drive before the second half ended, I think we should have got points right there. So that's on me. And I just got to play better for my teammates. I think Bill was calling a great game. We were doing, good things on offense. So again, I'll take the blame. I'll take the credit for, that right there. Because unfortunately, I just didn't play how I needed to play for us to get the win. So again, I just got to be better. So yeah.
Justin, after not seeing Cole commit so much the other 3 games, but now you had about 40-something yards to him. What did you see from him in this game that allowed you to throw the ball more so than the other games?
We probably had more plays called for him. So just the play calling for him.
What do you appreciate about what Herbert was able to do today on the ground?
That's not surprising. We know how talented he is, and we know what he brings to this offense. So he's a power back. He has great instincts on running the ball and juking moves or juking or whatever. But yeah, he's a great player.
Justin, I think it was the 3rd quarter, on a 3rd down. You were scrambling, you got tackled out of bounds on the Packers sideline. Looked like you were having a long conversation with the referee. The the punt team was coming on. Were you thinking there should have been a late hit call there? Or?
I don't know. I was just talking to him for real. I mean, I wanted to just get on the same page with him on what he saw and, what I felt, because I'm not sure. He said, because we talked after the fact, but he said that he tackled me and then he rolled over me or something like that. But I thought he was just doing a little bit too extra stuff. But again, my eyes weren't on that. It was just something I felt. So he could have saw something completely different.
Just what did Aaron Rodgers say to you after the game? Looked like he had a little chat with him.
Yeah, he just said, enjoy this rivalry, and just keep working and keep getting better.
Justin, you guys had that real strong first drive, and you had that drive in the fourth. In between, a little bit mixed. Is that the next level for you? That type of start to finish consistency during the game?
Consistency, that's it. I mean, once you come out, get a stop on defense, score first drive, it's 7-0. I mean, we got to keep putting the points on him, especially with the quarterback like Aaron. I mean, we got to just capitalize on every possession we get. We got to get points somehow. We can't score in the first drive and not score the whole second half. So we definitely got to get better.
Justin, what sort of things do you take away from this matchup between you and Aaron Rodgers?
Matchup between me and Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, what sort of things do you take out of it?
For me or us and the Packers? It's not a matchup between me and Aaron. It's a matchup between us and the Packers. So, I mean, like I said, I got to play better, and we got to put up more points.
Justin Mooney said a couple minutes ago that, after the interception on the free play, the momentum kind of went away and it took a while to get it back. What are some tricks to getting momentum back quickly when you have a step back or, we have a mistake like that?
Just forgetting about it. Just moving on and moving to the next drive.
Justin, on the last 2 sacks from Clark, it looked both times like he had an edge on him, and then he gets an arm out. Are you still adjusting to just how quick these big guys move at this?
Sorry, I didn't hear the first part you said.
The last couple sacks, it looked like you had an edge on Kenny Clark, and then he gets an arm out and gets you down. Are you still adjusting to just how much quicker these big guys move at this level?
No.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
He took accountability. He took
and he's pissed. And he's pissed. You could tell the kid is pissed. And he knew he left some plays out on the field. I think right there he was hitting on that play we talked about with Allen Robinson. He said that wasn't his first read. He was a naked boot. His first read was a guy on the outside. And then when he kind of saw it, he tried to plant. The defender was in his face. He tried to kind of recoil, but then it was just too late. And then he decided to tuck it and run with it. So the kid takes accountability. Like I said, Tyler, the kid's it's a natural born leader. That leadership comes out of him, and you can tell he's pissed. And then the guy's gonna be the first one back in there tomorrow morning and try and get this thing resolved. And guys, I saw a lot of positives with him today. Like I saw when they allow him to air the ball out. The guy's downfield accuracy was on point again. There were a couple of throws kind of sailed on him. That happens from time to time. But again, rookie mistakes. Maybe that Robinson play next time. He'll kind of, in the corner of his eye, kind of see if Robinson gets open like that again. That's something that he'll kind of like put down in his notebook and kind of just take notes of it. The thing about this kid is that when he makes a mistake, typically we don't see that mistake being made again the second time around. So, and now with the sack, he's got to get rid of that football, plain and simple. I hate the play call, but he's got the ball at the end of the play. He's got that ball in his hands. It's his responsibility. Get rid of that damn football and let your kicker at least make a makeable field goal attempt there.
That was the captain. The captain of the Chicago Bears just fell on the sword, and that's what you want. That's what you want from your leader. I like him giving some jabs, some spice to the media. Because the media will try to ask a question just to get him to get a sniblet. You versus the Amber. He's like, no, I was going against the Packers because the quarterback. They always say that the quarterback. No, he's going against the Packers defense, and so. But that's what Field is focused on getting better. And so next week it'll be Fields versus the defense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But Justin Fields to come out there like that, he's takes sole accountability. He wants to play better. He's a champion. He's a champion. He's a champion at heart. He's always been the best in this field, and he could take it. He could take his lumps, Aldo. He could take his lumps. He wants to get better, and he will get better. I'm very excited for his future.
There's a lot of debate going on in the chat room regarding who was calling the plays and so forth, and I'm going to assume that when people are saying that it's ridiculous that people are making claims that Nagy is calling the plays, I'm assuming that is within the chat room, because I don't think Danny nor Tyler, and certainly I didn't say that Nagy is calling the plays. But if I can speak for Danny just for a second, I think what Danny is saying that the game plan, the blueprint was Nagy's. And so there were some mistakes in there. Plus, Nagy has the ability to suggest a play. He's the guy.
Override. He can override the offensive coordinator.
Override, suggest a play, override a play. And so he may not have called play after play after play, but on that one particular play that Danny pointed out and Greg Olson on Fox TV pointed out, everyone going deep and the poor guy's running for his life and still nobody's made a break, that could have been a Matt Nagy suggestion for that particular play. We don't know that, and we're not going to hear that. But
there's just sprinkles of Matt Nagy-ness in this game plan. That diamond formation at the goal line, that's a Matt Nagy type of play. 4th and 1, and the shotgun handoff to Herbert. That's a Matt Nagy type of play. I'm just saying there are a lot more 5-man protections here in this game as opposed to previously. The offense was out of rhythm. That's something that we hadn't seen on Bill Lazor. Now, the one thing Justin Fields did say in the press conference is that Bill called a good game. So that tells me that Bill Lazor was calling the plays for us, at least from what Justin Fields just told us.
Right. The Minnesota Vikings win in overtime against the Panthers, 34-28. They are now 3-3, which means the Bears and the Vikings are tied in the division for second place. Tyler, what do you think about this division and how it's shaping up? Do you think that the Chicago Bears compare favorably against the Vikings? We know right now they're not better than the Packers. Perhaps when they meet again later in the season, they will be, but right now they're not. But are they better than the 3-3 Vikings?
I believe the Bears can definitely hold their own and definitely beat a Vikings team. Just going against them. If we're comparing running backs, Dalvin Cook, Montgomery, I believe are both top 10 running backs, obviously. But look at the depth. Even their backup up there in Minnesota is actually very good as well. And so, but I do believe so. We got the wide receivers out. We got the wide receivers. We got the wide receivers who can hold their own man-on-man breaks. We got the defensive line. I told you and John last week. Our front seven is the best in the NFL, especially when healthy. When healthy, I don't think we've seen it. And so, Akeem Hicks may be out next week, but our front seven, Kirk Cousins, I truly believe we'll have him running for his life as well. Jalen Johnson has really been impressive. It was that last play. This game was a couple of plays from being different.
Yes, it was.
A couple of plays from being different. Okay, because where we were at after that touchdown, we were in position to get the Packers to punt. Jalen went for a hard press and never attempted to recover. I'm a little disturbed at him, and they're gonna see that on film.
But they think he had safety help. No.
Damn safety help. This is man-on-man coverage. It's the best wide receiver in the league. You can't do that against Aaron Rodgers. We're going safety help is over top. We're trying to prevent a first down. We're trying to get the ball back. It was like 2nd and 10 or almost 3rd down in that position. The point is responsibility. He wasn't checking anybody. So first of all, if you didn't go off your man, he didn't even go out. He could have went after Rodgers and got a sack, but didn't do that either. What I'm saying is, I love the kid. He could have did something. He missed on a hard pass jam and didn't attempt to recover north or south. If you got beat, he definitely got beat. Then he could have ran to Rodgers. If you're saying if he knew he had over the top help, then he should have blitzed Rodgers then, but he didn't.
That's not his responsibility. You can't just play. You can't play schoolyard.
Danny,
because you missed a jam, he's going to go after the quarterback. That's not the way you play defense.
No, I know that, but the fact that he didn't go after the receiver. When you watch him tomorrow, you'll see it. When you watch him tomorrow,
that's the thing. He got beat. I mean, he got beat. He would try to press him at the line of scrimmage. That was a great move by Devontae Adams, one of the best receivers in the NFL. He got beat, but then when he turns around, like you said, Tyler, he stopped running. I'm like, that tells me either A, he thought he had safety help over the top, or B, he just and that's not the kid. We haven't seen him just quit on a play, right? So that's something like he thinks he's got safety help over the top. And then that's where A. Jackson comes over.
Rodgers, but we gotta understand who we're playing against, man.
I understand.
Aaron Rodgers is looking for a window. And as you saw Aaron Rodgers gather for that throw, he said, "Oh my God, he's open." It was a knee-jerk reaction when Rodgers threw the ball. And so, like I said, that was a pivotal game because I thought we was about to come back. I said, we get this freaking ball back. I think we're gonna we have a chance here. We really have a chance here. But besides that play, Jalen did a great job with shadowing him throughout the course of the game. I was really impressed because, like we said, Devontae is the best wide receiver in the league. And so, but you got to be able to recover. You got to be able to go all out, max effort to beat the Packers. It's a whistle to whistle. It's until it's 0-0-0 on the clock, and you up by 3 touchdowns. This game is never over against this man. And so, but that also goes back to your point earlier, Danny, about having I don't want to say soft, but just safeties that don't hit. Eddie Jackson doesn't hit. He did have one great aggressive tackle. I did like that. But besides that, not having a safety to come down and lower the boom, that's why these running backs was able to get damn near probably close to like 5 to 6 yards a carry. It looked like.
Danny, Matthew wants to know, excuse me for jumping on you there, Tyler. Matthew wants your evaluation of Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, for me, to me, Jalen Johnson, Tyler, you made a good point. You know, that press, there was 2 plays really that he got beat on today. And for me, Jalen Johnson took a step up today and being that number 1 cover corner that we think he can be, because, you know, previous today, from what I've been seeing on tape, he was just he just covered one side of the field, right? Today was the first time I actually saw him shadowing a receiver across the field on both sides. So to me, that's a step at becoming that number 1 cover corner. That was that first play earlier in the first half. He was caught flat-footed. He was covering Adams in the slot, and Adams made a great play. And I think it was like a 20-some yard gain. That was the first play he got beat on. That PI they called on him, that was a really touchy call. I mean, I think that could have gone either way in terms of that penalty there. And we talked about the refs already, so we're not going to harp on that. And then that play that Tyler and I were talking about right now, yeah, I mean, he was up there at press corner. He missed a jam. Great move by Adams on the release, got free. Again, did he have over the top? Did he think he had over the top safety help? You know, obviously he didn't. Eddie Jackson was more towards in the middle of the field. So I think Johnson was another game today where he showed he's getting better as a corner. Is he fully developed there? Is he there yet as number 1 shutdown corner? Not yet, but from what I've seen early on this season, the kid's well on his way. His biggest thing is just stay healthy, continue to learn from some of these mistakes. He went up against one of the better receivers in the NFL today. Tyler and I both agree on that. And there were a couple times he got schooled. And, you know, these are lessons that he's got to learn, just like Justin Fields on offense. A couple times he made mistakes, rookie mistakes, that he's going to have to, you know, put those in his notebook and in the back of his mind there and just learn on it. And next time, don't, you know, not make those same mistakes over and over again. So, but Tyler, I don't know how you feel about this, but defensively, man, I'm loving this defense. They're flying to the football. I love the games that Sean Desai is playing up front with these front 7 guys, getting guys free. And you know, they held Rodgers pretty much in check in that first half. I'm just concerned about the safeties. I know you don't want to call them soft, but man, Eddie Jackson has really disappointed me the last season and a half. I never thought that I'd be sitting here and saying I wish the Bears had kept Adrian Amos over Eddie Jackson. And I'm getting close there. I'm getting close to saying that I wish we had kept Adrian Amos now, because Adrian Amos, today you saw him today make another great play and then a hole against Khalil Herbert, almost shutting him down for that first down run. He's developed in terms of being a leader back there for the Packers secondary. He's gotten better in coverage too. Adrian Amos has as well. So the safeties for me are a concern, guys. And I'm not only now studying offensive linemen in the next year's draft hard, I'm looking at safeties as well, because I think that's an area the Bears are going to have to improve on.
Danny,
go ahead, Tyler. You had a thought?
No, I was gonna say I agree with Danny. We definitely need some assistance in the secondary period. It would be a beautiful thing to have an aggressor back there in the secondary that could also be the leader on defense. Like, I mean, I'm thinking back to Mike Brown. Like when we had somebody who can come down and lay the wood, he just couldn't stay. He couldn't stay healthy. But and just to be clear, Jalen is amazing. He's a young talent. But when we're talking about situational awareness and where this game is pivotal, when you're trying to win an NFL game, we got, because Danny, in that particular game, I don't want to harp on too long, but it was just like I would prefer him to not jam on that situation, because where we were at and the situation we're at, we're just trying to, like, we wanted to punt 2 more incompletes and we punt the ball. Yeah. Like you said, 60 up over top. I prefer him to pay 5 yards off a little bit, because that way Roger.
But that's the call though. That's the call, but from the defensive call from the coach. You can't. I don't think he's
no. You can't. It's situational awareness. Ed Reed was Ed Reed because Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, these guys played outside of the playbook. You got to play outside the playbook. Donovan McNabb. We're trying to win the game here. You want to be to teachers pet or win the game.
Well, I mean, you're stuck in your corner. You can't just go off of your assignments, though, Tyler. You can't. If your assignment says you jam the guy at the line of scrimmage, you jam him.
Okay, bro, but he could jam him hard. He did a hard jam.
He missed.
A hard miss and then sat still. But I'm saying is he could. But if he was going to do that situational awareness, I played a game. So I'm talking from physical experience. And so like when you hit hard left open, I would have had it opened up a little bit because when he jammed Danny and missed, Rodgers immediately saw him open. That's when Rodgers looked up. And so what I'm saying, I'm trying to win the damn game. Like the game is on the line at that point. If you guys safety up over top, I would prefer to just like soft jam, go with him a little bit so he doesn't appear as wide open because Adams ran free for 10 yards by himself because of the hard miss and sit still.
And Aldo, I don't know if you want us to continue on this or you want to cut in real quick. Because I have a comeback on that one because that tells me right there that if first of all, I'm not going to tell a second year guy to kind of freelance, right? He's only a second year player. He follows his assignments. If he's jamming hard, then he knows if he misses against Devontae Adams, it's pretty much an open shut case, right? Like it was. So that's why I'm thinking this guy knew or thought he had over the top safety help. That's when he turned around and he saw no safety over there. Then he starts chugging. So that's what we look and see. What again? Well, are we gonna know exactly if there was a miss? We don't know, but we're gonna go off of that tape. And like I said, his initial reaction was he jammed hard, like you said. He missed. Great play by Devontae Adams. Great release at the line of scrimmage. But his reaction when he looked up, he saw no safety help. He knew he was in trouble, and that's when. And obviously, Aaron Rodgers being the great Aaron Rodgers, he saw it right away, bam, threw it, and took advantage of it.
Yeah, he did a great job because last week Devontae Adams had over 200 yards passing. And so that being said, Jalen still did a heck of a job on that's a beast. That man is a physical beast. And our secondary overall did very well. As Aldo had the stats up for all the wide receivers, nobody had over 5 or 6 receptions. And so that right there looks like good defense. It just sucks because we just got eaten up. And so those 3 catches by Lazard were just happened to be clutch plays. And so Rodgers had to go different places because the defense was getting home so fast. The defense was getting home so fast, so Rodgers got rid of the ball quick.
And the majority of those yards from Adams were really on 2 plays, guys.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
A lot of people in the chat room are saying that they are reading a lot of other people on social media saying trade Justin Fields for a first-round draft pick. This guy's a bust and so forth. And of course, I'm not going to tell you what to tell those people, but you might want to consider to go tell them to go to hell or something like that. Sorry, but it's just buffoonery for anyone to make that suggestion. This guy is an embryo when it comes to quarterbacks. He is still going to grow into a full man, and we want it to happen as quickly as possible, but it's going to take some time. And the concern, though, is Danny and Tyler, is Matt Nagy the right guy to help this guy become that man, or is he going to slow down the progress? Danny, you first.
No, Matt Nagy is not what he was sold to us. He's not a quarterback guru, a offensive genius, or anything like that. He is a guy. He's just a head coach and a mediocre. Some might say bad head coach. I'll give him mediocre, if you will, right now. But he's not a guy that I would entrust with Justin Fields in terms of developing this kid into an NFL quarterback. There are a number of other coaches that I like on other teams that we won't get into that now. But in terms of what's on the Bears offense right now, the coaching staff, I give it John DeFilippo and I give him to Bill Lazor. I do not give Matt Nagy anywhere. I try and keep him away from Justin Fields because I know that Matt Nagy cannot develop a quarterback.
Tyler?
It just sucks out there because that's who we got. We got him. That's our coach. It's hard to develop anybody when you're the head coach. That's more for the quarterback. So Nagy might do something good for Justin Fields if that's all Matt Nagy did. If he followed Justin Fields everywhere and talked to Justin Fields about, hey, this is what this defense. Yeah, that can totally benefit him. But he's only getting Matt Nagy maybe 25. Let's just say 20% of the time because Matt Nagy has other responsibility. I don't want my head coach neglecting the rest of the team for the quarterback. That's not what I want on my head coach. That's for the quarterback coach and an offensive coordinator. They should be adjoined to the hip. And so theoretically, I'm going to say no because the imagination is not there. Nagy's trying to create a system when I thought when we got him, he was bringing a system to Chicago. If Josh McDaniels was hired by the Bears, there's a proven system coming here that Tom Brady took to the Super Bowl. That they use different wide receivers every single year, and they were productive. That's a system. Matt Nagy, I feel like we're still going on the fly of trying to figure things out. I don't understand how we can't get Darnell Mooney open on every consistent play. I feel like if Darnell Mooney was on the Kansas City Chiefs, he'd be a top 1 wide receiver fantasy right now. These are just the facts of the lack of imagination because Justin Fields is running for his life because nobody's open. Why are they not open?
Well,
Why are they not open?
I will one thing I will not disagree with you in terms of there are other coaches outside on the NFL that can come in here and help develop Justin Fields, but the guy who just gave us is not one guy that I would want here as my head coach.
I feel
and I'll give you why.
At the end of the day, I feel you, bro. But it's results for me. Josh McDaniels.
What did he do without Tom Brady? What's done without Tom Brady? He hasn't done nothing without Tom Brady.
I'm a fan of Tom Brady. I love Tom Brady.
Brady, Josh McDaniels. What has McDaniels done without Tom Brady? I mean, he sucked at Denver. He looked horrible with Cam Newton. He so far he hasn't done anything great with Mac Jones. So what is Josh McDaniels? I think he's got a.
You're taking this. I think you and Josh McDaniels guys, I think y'all maybe had a disagreement back in the day. I'm talking about the 10-year career of Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady. Tom Brady, who the damn experts said was a would fail under pressure. Tom Brady, that was a 6th-round draft pick. Yeah, you would say Tom Brady now, but Tom Brady, when they got him, wasn't Tom Brady. He was developed and groomed that way. Okay,
it wasn't Josh McDaniels.
Yeah,
but he stepped. No, it wasn't. What it was, but Tom Brady stepped into that system and took it over. Is what I'm saying with different receivers. So what I'm saying is, it's not about we can get too caught up in the name, but the fact is, there's a system in place. Y'all can play a name game all you want. I'm just talking about a system.
Right. We're talking about it bringing a coach in here to help develop Justin Fields, right? We're talking about not just talking about the offensive system. We're talking about everything around him, the system, the play calling, the coaching, being able to get him comfortable in the pocket. And on 3rd and 15, not running a 5-man protection and 4 guys, just get a quick hitting play. Things like that is what I'm talking about, Tyler. Yeah. And I think Nagy has proven to us he can do it. He cannot do it, and he cannot develop a quarterback. So there's a name out there that I like a lot, and if he becomes available, and I would love to the Bears to go and bring him in. I just don't know how good of a head coach he'll be because he's never been a head coach before, and that's a guy from Brian Dable from the Buffalo Bills. I think that guy has done wonders with what he's worked with in terms of Josh Allen, and you know he's a guy that went back at college level under Nick Saban, did a great job with that offensive system, and then has taken it over now with Buffalo. I like guys that adjust to their personnel. I like guys that play to the strengths of their players, right. And Matt Nagy cannot do that.
Okay, but there we go. But that's also a problem where we go to. Just because they call plays good doesn't mean they should be a head coach. Like, true. Let them call plays, man. Just let them call plays. Because once they become a head coach, are you still gonna call plays? It's the same damn thing over and over again. Like, and that's what's a system. If the system was good, then anybody can run the system. A system is I cast a vision, write it down, so whoever comes along and read it can take it and run with it. That's the mark of a leader. If Matt Nagy had a great system, Bill Lazor, anybody, Mike Tice could run the system if the system was in place. You see what I'm saying? And so
Mike Tice.
Exactly. That's how if somebody had a system in place that somebody could run. And so
I think you're losing me, Tyler. You lost me at Mike Tice, man. You lost me.
No, I was done. What you're not understanding is
I was gone, dude.
If the system was in place, a proper system was in place, Mike Tice could run it. That's what I'm telling you, bro. But
we know the system's broken. We know the system is broken.
Right. So if we're talking about bringing somebody in, I'm hoping that's an offensive coordinator. It is right. The head coach should just plant the vision and the.
But you want an offensive coordinator who can develop, who's proven that at least they could develop. Right. He might not be a head coach, right? Brian Dable has never been a head coach in his career, to my knowledge. But he might be. But we know that he could take a quarterback and develop him. We could build a system around him, correct? Because Sean McDermott is a defensive coordinator, a defensive background. So Brian Dable runs that offense system in Buffalo, and he's built that system around that quarterback. Right. Now, could he suck as a head coach? Sure, because he's never done it before. But I'm just saying, a guy who's done it in the league, who's proven to me that he could take a quarterback that was raw coming out of college, Josh Allen, with a ton of skill sets, a great athlete, and build an offensive system around his skill set.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I would love to see for Justin Fields.
I agree with you. And real quick, with that same guy you're talking about, that's the same guy Mr. Trubisky was with all offseason, and he came to Chicago and tore us up in the preseason.
By the way, the guy that's going to win the NFL Head Coach of the Year award was coaching the Chicago Bears linebackers at one point, Brandon Staley. We let him get away and almost let Sean Desai get away. So we've had good coaches in this organization, but we have not.
And guys, I'm high on Sean Desai. I am really high on Sean Desai from what I've seen through 5 weeks.
He might be the guy to replace Nagy and install a system and then find that proper head coach or assistant coaches to run that system, because the guy is brilliant and the players on defense have responded to that brilliance. Sometimes when you have a really smart guy who's a coach, players, are slow to warm up to them, but it's obvious that the players love playing for Sean Desai, and this defense is really magnificent. And the reason the Bears lost today was not because of the defense. It was because of the offensive scheming, offensive play calling, and a rookie quarterback who made a few mistakes. All right, I want to look at the schedule here. This is, they're talking now about dividing a season into 3 phases. Well, the first phase for the Bears 2021 season is done, and they finish with a 3-3 record. They start on the road with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the second phase, and that's going to be a tough matchup, and then come back home against the 49ers, then go back on the road against the Steelers, a struggling Steelers team, and then come back home after the bye and play the Ravens, and then play the lowly Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day. Guys, what do you think about the schedule? What scares you? Can we have a better than 500 record? Well, it's going to have to be either above 500 or below 500 unless there's a tie. What are your thoughts for these next 5 games in phase 2 of the season? Danny, I'll start with you.
I think next year is going to be tough, guys. We talked about going on the road to a hostile environment like the Buccaneers. I mean, the Buccaneers are right now offensively, they're one of the more scary teams out there, led by Tom Brady. I mean, heck, he's not even using his top receivers, Evans and Chris Godwin, as much as he's been using Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's been a beast this year. He's been the Antonio Brown that we saw with Pittsburgh a couple of years ago. So, I mean, the weapons galore there. Leonard Fournette has regained his, a Leonard Fournette that we saw at the LSU. And I think that right now they're just, and defensively they're hurting in the secondary. So we saw today that the Packers were hurting in the secondary, but the Bears unfortunately couldn't take advantage of them. And their front 7, their front 4, led by Todd Bowles, is very aggressive. And I just don't have a good feeling about next week at Tampa Bay. The 49ers come in, the week after. Again, the 49ers are may or may not be starting Trey Lance at quarterback. He hasn't looked impressive so far. Again, we thought that he would be a little bit slower to develop as some of the other guys because of the fact that he didn't play last year, played at a Division II college for his one season, at North Dakota State. So, that might be a game that they could win it on, again, but you have to stop the run there with the 49ers and make them one-dimensional, make Trey Lance throw the football or if it's Jimmy Garoppolo, make him throw the football. And defensively, they have a tough defense, but you could run on them, I think. The Steelers, we don't know what they look like they're on a decline there as well. So at best case scenario, I think the Bears could go 5-4 before the bye week.
Tyler?
As crazy as it sounds, the Bears we can go on a 5-game winning streak. We have 2 tough matchups with the Buccaneers and the Ravens. The Ravens find a way to score. Trey Lance is mobile and he's strong, but at the same time, he still has his rookie. He's still battling through his rookie accuracy as well. And so Tampa Bay is Tom Brady. And so that game is going to be that's going to be a dogfight. That's going to be a dogfight. Leonard Fournette, it cannot be tackled. He refused to be tackled. He scored a touchdown in like each of the last 3 or 4 weeks. And so these are tough matchups anytime in the NFL. The Ravens can score. The Ravens just activated their number 1 wide receiver, Bateman, and from the draft this year. Of course, we can beat the Lions. The Steelers. I'm gonna try to go to that Steelers game meet John up there. But Aldo, outside of the Packers, the Ravens and the Buccaneers are tough. But outside, I see a 5-game winning streak. I see a 5-game winning streak because what, Mr. Trubisky beat the Buccaneers last year. So why can't Justin Fields? And so I know the Buccaneers are good, and I respect them. I love Tom Brady. Outside of the Bears, one of my favorite players. But the Bears, Justin Fields still showed me something. Anybody who's talking crap about Justin Fields, slap yourself. With all due respect. Like, because
the one thing about last year's victory over the Buccaneers, Tom Brady had not incorporated himself into that offense as he is now. They were still trying to run the Bruce Arians offense before Tom Brady went and said, "Hey, Bruce, we're having a come to Jesus talking right now because listen, I know what I need to succeed." Bruce Arians listened to his quarterback, again, a coach playing to his players' strengths, alter that offense a little bit to more of a Tom Brady's liking, and then that's when that offense took off the second half of the season. So I think the Buccaneers are going to face next week is different than the offensive Buccaneers I saw last year.
That's all great and adorable, but Khalil Mack is still Khalil Mack, and I expect Khalil Mack to get some rest this week. The resurgence of Robert Quinn is different. We didn't have Robert Quinn last year.
We did not.
We had to have a version. So I don't care what other teams are doing, Danny. I care what we go in there with. Right. I'm worried about what we got. I'm thinking about our players who we can control. Can we win our one-on-ones? I'm thinking that's what I'm looking at. Can we win our one-on-ones? And I think we can. I think it's going to be a fight. And I ain't going to say it's going to be easy, but we can beat them. We can beat the Buccaneers. It's definitely possible.
It'll be tough. I mean, obviously, any given Sunday, anybody can win any game, right? But I just think that front against the Buccaneers is going to be hard to run against. All right, and if you're going to run the ball against that, good luck. Go ahead. If you do it, great. If you're going to set up 5-man protection and let Justin Fields get back there and try to beat those guys, he's going to have a Cleveland rematch again because it's going to be guys flying all over at Justin Fields on that. I'm just saying you're going to have a sound defense, sound game plan, both on defense and offense to go in there and beat Tampa. It's going to be a tough game. If you win, great. Any given Sunday, any team can win. I just think it's going to be a tough matchup for the Bears.
But of course it is. Our offensive coordinator has to be held accountable for lack of or imagination, either one. And so we know it's going to be tough. That dude Vita Veda, I think he bench presses like 800 pounds, and so like he throws up people off blocks easily. So yes, it's going to be tough and all that cute stuff. Right. We got purebred receiver. We brought in all this speed. We brought in all the speed. I want to see what Goodwin looks like. We saw Goodwin get some nice catches this week. We saw Mooney get so all Cole Kmet. They might be without Gronk again, who's still in concussion protocol. Right.
But and Tyler, so, I understand the speed, and I was excited about the speed of Demir Bird and Marquise Goodwin, but so far we haven't seen them being utilized. And again, we're talking about them utilizing the opposite. I'm talking,
Danny. I'm talking about them being open and catching the ball. No, slow down real quick. Hear me real quick. When you watch tape tonight on this game right here, go back and just look at the completions from Justin Fields and who were they to? Cole Kmet, Goodwin, and Mooney. Some of those were tough catches. Those were tough catches. I wish it wasn't that tough. They should be easier. I wish our receivers had 5 yards space to catch the ball. But the fact of the matter is, I'm going to put some accountability on our offensive staff to create a game plan that our wide receivers can be open. Yes, Tampa Bay's front seven is tough, but dang it, so is ours. All right? I don't care about that. Ours is tough too. Roquan Smith is punching lights out. I want to see Roquan.
I'm not going to disagree with you on our defense. I'm talking about our offensive line up against their defensive front. It's going to be a tough matchup.
Roquan Smith, not to mention, guys, we dropped 2 interceptions from Aaron Rodgers today. Ogletree, I was hoping he would have had that. That was a great way for him to turn around and look at the ball. But hopefully our defense will come up with some interceptions today. We gave them gifts today, the Packers. But next week, I feel like, you know what? I might guarantee victory. I'm feeling froggy right now, just to upset Danny.
Don't do that, Tyler.
But I do feel like,
don't bet on it, okay?
Exactly. I do feel like like John would say, it's a great measuring stick to go up with the champs. It's going to be a really, really great. To go forward, you got to find out who you are. Okay, we are who we are right now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that's an amazing battlefield. No matter what, at the end of the game next week, we're going to be better because we're going to be better one way or another. We're going to be better with a smile or we're going to be better with some bumps and bruises because that is a great team. But outside of that, I feel like we can go on a run. If our offense picks up and the way our offense responded late in today's game, when we were down, that still impressed me, and that was Justin Fields leading that charge. He did it with his legs, he did it with his arms, and he threw some great fastballs to move us down the field.
I do want to end the show with some great news for Chicago sports fans. The Chicago Sky are your WNBA champions.
Wow.
They beat the Phoenix Mercury, and we should all rejoice. The WNBA is a league to watch. these games have been so exciting. And to have the Sky team led by that woman right there,
Candace Parker
is
came home.
just so effing fantastic. This is a great day for Chicago sports. We may have lost to the Packers, but the Chicago Sky reigns supreme, and that's great. Thank you for the people in the chat that pointed it out to me, and thank you to ESPN for the use of this clip. Outstanding news, huh?
That's Candace Parker coming home and bringing home a championship. That's what you like to see. I do have one more question for Tyler before we head out. Why do you have a big Detroit Lions logo behind your head, dude?
Let me just get.
Oh, is that a tiger? Is that a tiger? Okay.
Oh no, that's a lion.
That's a real authentic picture from a lion that I received when I was in Africa in Mombasa, Kenya this past March. And so at the end of the day, you find out who you really are when you look a lion in the eyes. And that was about 6 feet in front of a lion. And then I ran back. Then I ran back in my car because I'm smart.
So that's okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. But it's not a Detroit Lion, so it won't bite your kneecaps off.
No, I was supporting a local entrepreneur in Mombasa, Kenya, and I watched them paint it, and then I brought it back home. And
that's awesome.
His name is Titus. He's an amazing man in that village, and that village has blessed me tremendously. I'm actually looking forward to going back to Mombasa, Kenya this coming March.
That's awesome. I just want to give you some flag. I look like a Detroit Lion logo, but I do have the Rocky picture next to it.
Oh, of course, man. I got Rocky right there, and got my man Mike Tyson right there. You know what I'm saying?
That's why when you lifted it up, and I'm like, oh, is it kind of like a theme with Rocky? I the tiger. That's why I thought maybe it was a tiger. It was a lion.
Yeah, the tiger. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Final thoughts. I'll start with you, Tyler.
Man, first of all, man, it's awesome to have our draft expert Danny Shimon on the show.
Thank you, man, for having me. It was fun.
Phenomenal, and congratulations.
Thanks for going easy on me. Thanks for going easy on me, man. You didn't bruise me too much. I was I was doing a John Buffon. I was kind of like jabbing, getting the butt.
And I also say congratulations to Danny Shimon for kicking my butt in fantasy football today. And
I didn't even check the score.
And so Danny is I'm currently winning, but I feel like you got some players still active.
Oh,
but
okay.
So congratulations on that, Danny. It's a pleasure having you, brother. You bring a ton of perspective and expertise to the network. It was a pleasure. Awesome feeling for our brother John, who we're missing dearly. But other shout out to Bears Nation. Keep your head up high. We're gonna come through this. I know it sucks. I know these losses like this suck, but just stay positive. Let's have an amazing week. Let's lick our wounds, and let's stay positive. Bear down, and tons of coverage coming on the network. Tons of coverage all week long. Aldo, please go through it. But we're here for you guys, and you can catch me and John Buffon here back on our Bears Debate Show Tuesday night.
There you go. Danny, shout outs.
Yeah, I mean, for me, thank you guys. Shout out to both you and Tyler for having me on. It was great. Like I said, I had some big shoes to fill in today, and hopefully I did an okay job and just trying to give you guys some perspective in terms of what I saw. But and so overall for me in the game, is a tough loss, but I think it was a game that Bears could have won. It was a winnable game. I just think that there were some mistakes, obviously offensively. I think that we talked about some of the bog down in offense in terms of the execution, no rhythm. I'm not sure. Like, it looked like players were confused again, and that's something that we've not seen in the last couple of weeks. So that's a step back for me offensively. Defensively, again, the front seven. Tyler, you and I are in agreement. The guys are flying all over the football field. The Bears defense is back. I just wish we had better safety play back there. I think better safety play would make this defense one of the best defenses in the NFL, even better than what it is currently. So I think those are two things. One thing that we didn't talk about, and something that I do want to touch upon as a positive, is Jakeem Grant and his kickoff return ability. I mean, we were constantly getting the ball within the 30-plus yard range in terms of him. I think the kid, as long as he doesn't feel punted in his end zone, I think the kid's going to be a positive impact on special teams. I think he went down, got hurt, but came back up again, and it was able to continue the game, which is a good sign. So I think that's a positive. I think overall the coverage units were pretty good. I've been kind of consistent throughout the season. There were some lapses through preseason. Couple in the first couple of games of the season, but then I think overall, special teams has been a plus. So that's why that sack, that third down play was huge, because I think Cairo would hit that field goal, made it a 1 point game or 1 possession game, and then defense go out there, you stop them, then never know what happens. But unfortunately, that didn't work out. So a lot of positives, some negatives. I'll go ahead and go through the tape this week, and we'll break down some things for you on Bears Truth on Thursday night. And and we'll give you some positives and we'll give you some negatives.
There you go. Thanks, Danny, for being here. Really appreciate it. And Tyler, you always bring it so much energy and passion. It's outstanding. I just want to let people know that tomorrow at 2 p.m., Greg Gabriel, the former director of scouting for the Chicago Bears, will have his analysis on what happened today against the Green Bay Packers. That will start off our weekday Bears coverage, where we will have up to 15 hours of Bears coverage. And like Tyler said, on Tuesday, it's the Bear Debate Show. After that, it's Dan and Aldo Bear Their Souls. Oh boy, is Dan going to be really upset. Boy, that guy dies when the Bears lose to the Packers. And that will continue throughout the week. I won't go through all the shows. The best way to keep track of what we're doing Bears related is to hit that like button here on our YouTube channel. That way you'll get a message on whatever device you use letting you know that we are going to be live and in color right here on our YouTube channel. And you can also, most of these shows are available on podcast version also, so you can just search Barroom Network and subscribe to iTunes, Podbean, Spotify. All of these shows, with the exception of a couple, are available for audio only purposes. But one of the things that I do is when I'm traveling, I just put my YouTube channel on my smart device, and it goes through the speaker system, and so I'm listening to everything there. But so there's a lot of different ways that you can listen to our programming. And also, please head over to Deep Dish Tees. We got great hats, Barroom Network hats, great t-shirts for a lot of our different shows. Help support the Barroom. Make a quick purchase, buy a gift for somebody for the holidays. It would be great for you to help us out. Really would appreciate that very much. So that is Bear Football for this week. John Buffon will be back next week. Tyler will be back. And then Danny, the next time you'll see him is on Thursday with Bear Truth. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.